Hello and welcome to yet another video. Finally, it's here, the official Kickstarter release of the new Terraforming Mars content, including Prelude 2, Automa, Modular Milestones and Awards, a brand new map and more. The campaign had a laughable goal of about $10,000 and by the time of writing the script, just a few hours after it went live, it has already received nearly $500,000. So it's beyond funded. But let's dive right in. First of all, we got a short intro text by Fricks Games and Stronghold Games about how they thought they were done with making new Terraforming Mars content, but they just couldn't stop thinking about it. They explain how David Turchi and Nick Shaw helped them create Automa, the new solo expansion for TM, and how Arndt Drifter designed the Neoprene game boards. He also mentioned that the new one, Amazonas Planitia, will not go into regular retail and can only be purchased via this Kickstarter campaign. So if you want to get your hands on it, please check out the link in the description. Then they mention how fan-made content inspired them to create some of the cards in these new expansions, and how you can customize your pledge to get exactly what you want. I will explain all about the different pledge levels later. But next up, let's talk about the new content. Prelude 2 is the main attraction here, and it will come with 5 new corporations, 25 new preludes, and 24 new projects. We get a close look at some of these cards, so let's analyze them. We see these 2 new corps. The one in front seems to start with 33 MC, a plant, power and steel prod, and the respective tags. It also has some effect, but sadly it's unreadable. Definitely a powerhouse for generalist and diversifier though. We also see 2 preludes, and both are interconnected with another expansion, Colonies and Venus Next. The one in front lets you either increase Phi, Oxygen or Venus by 2 and draw 2 floater cards. Certainly great for Celestic, and the one in the back grants at least the Titanium prod and a colony, but maybe more. Seems like an insanely good prelude. The new projects are also very interesting, with one even combining Venus and colonies effects. It will require 2 Venus tags and will grant some amount of money when trading. Really cool interaction and a card that makes acquiring Venus tags more worthwhile. Something I definitely appreciate. Fricks Games also released the Prelude 2 Rulebook, which is actually just 2 pages long, and you can find the link to it in the description. It just explains that there are now preludes with ongoing actions and effects, and officially states the rule that was mentioned on BGG a while back, that states that you'll get 15 MC if you cannot play a prelude due to lack of money, for example. You also get a look at one of the new preludes, Applied Science. It comes with a wild tag and 6 science resources on it, and it lets you take an action once per gen, with which you can remove one of these science resources to gain a standard resource, for example Titanium, or add 1 resource to another card of your choice. Of course, this would combo best with Physics Complex and grant you a total of 12 points. But in my opinion, it's very niche. Next up, we get a good look at the new Modular Milestones and Awards. Such a good look that it would be excessive to talk about all of them. I mean, there will be 40 new milestones and awards, and some of the existing ones will be buffed or nerfed. For example, Tactician. It will only require 4 cards with requirements instead of 5. Also, there are many milestones and awards that interconnect to the expansions. For example, Constructor, which awards the player with the most colonies and cities. Planetologist, which requires 2 sets of Jovian, Earth and Venus tags. Or Politician, which rewards the player with the most party leaders and influence combined. But if you want to take a closer look at all of these milestones and awards, just click on the link in the description, which includes the rulebook with a list of all of them. Next up, we get more info on the Automa solo expansion, which will come with a lot of new content and rules. The amount of content is actually staggering, as it will come with all of this. There's also a rulebook that explains how the Mars bot works and how to play against it. It's way too much to go over it in this video, but to summarize, you and the Mars bot take alternating turns just like in a 2P game. Your turns basically play out normally, but the bot will always draw from an action deck that includes normal project cards and bonus cards. If he unveils a project card, its tags determine on which of the tracks on the Mars bot board he advances, and the action icons there explain what he will do as an effect. For example, increase the temperature. If he unveils a bonus card, he will just do whatever that bonus card says. He can also take failed actions, for example when he needs to advance on a track that is already maxed out, or if the project card he unveils has no tags. Then he just gains 5 MC. There's also a section in the rulebook on endgame scoring. Basically, if the game goes to 20 gens, you instantly lose. For every gen before that, there is an intricate system of how the bot scores an award, the board, and how he gains victory points from money. Additionally, there are 3 difficulty levels that change how the bot can score points and how much money he gains during his turns. If you want to know more, just click on the link in the description to get to the rulebook. Next up, we get a good look at the neoprene maps. 6 of them we already know, but then there's also Amazonas Planitia, a brand new map designed to work best for 5-player games, as it comes with longer oxygen and heat tracks, as well as more oceans. Sadly, we only have this really pixelated image of it, but we can at least make out the general layout and some of the placement bonuses. It looks like you can get power, resources of your choice, so possibly non-standard resources and delegates. I'm really excited to try out this map. Next up, it's mentioned that there will be some promo cards that you can only get during the Kickstarter campaign or maybe at some later point as a promo pack. Something similar happened during the Kickstarter for Turmoil as well. 2 of these promo cards we get to see in more detail. First of all, a prelude called Anti-Desertification Techniques. It grants 1 steel and 1 plant prod as well as 3 MC. So it's quite similar to dome farming or nitrogen shipment. But with its tags, it's insanely good for ecologists. And then the corporation Tycho Magnetics. It's a twist on the card High Tech Lab, as its effect lets you spend X amount of power to take a look at the same number of cards. But you can only keep 1 though. The last thing to talk about are the different pledge levels that grant different rewards. No matter which level you choose, you will always get the Kickstarter exclusive promo pack that I just talked about. There are about 1 million ways to customize your pledge, and you can freely add single items to it. The base levels range from $29 for just the Prelude 2 and Milestone expansion to $228, which will grant access to Prelude 2, Automa, Milestone expansion, all neoprene maps, all released promo content so far, 3D tiles and card sleeves. I think the cheapest way of getting everything unreleased so far is choosing the Pioneers package for $45, which will include Automa, Prelude 2 and the Milestone expansion, and then adding Amazonas Planitia, which costs $30. I also added the seasonal promos 2023 for $10 to my order, even though I own 2 of those 5 already. I guess I'll just give those 2 away. So my order came out to a total of $85, excluding shipping and taxes, and I think that's the cheapest way to get all the new content. But for everyone who does not own everything released so far already, the Kickstarter is a great chance to get your hands on some of the amazing promo and fan-made content released so far. But that was it. What do you think about the Kickstarter campaign and the new content, now that you got to take a closer look at it? Are you as excited as me? Let me know in the comments. Also, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and consider subscribing. I'll see you in the next video.